The legal problems for Rudy Giuliani continue to mount this week, the latest, even after being found liable for defaming Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. He is shamelessly snubbing a federal judge's order to pay up. In a court filing yesterday, lawyers for Freeman and Moss say Giuliani, quote, failed to take any of the actions ordered by federal Judge Beryl Howell last month, which included turning over evidence and paying $132,000 in legal fees for the workers. Those legal fees will be on top of whatever damages are determined he will also have to pay on a December 11th trial date that was set Wednesday. All this losing for Rudy Giuliani comes on top of news earlier in the week that his own lawyer is now suing him, claiming that Rudy owes him $1.4 million in unpaid legal bills. We're back with Harry and Amy. I mean, Harry, the jokes write themselves. But I think the important little rub here is one, the re-traumatizing of Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss continues. That's probably the most important thing here. But two, Trump is raising money for Rudy for a reason. Because Trump doesn't feel like he needs to be generous to Rudy, obviously, or he wouldn't be getting sued. But Trump's not letting him hang out to dry either, because Rudy still seems to represent a legal threat to Donald Trump.
It's true, but I don't know if he's raising enough. I mean, how low can you go? He's really in an abysmal position. He's ducking everyone. The lawyer suit, by the way, it's not just his lawyers. It's his longtime kind of good friend and mentee, Robert Costello. He must be in desperate shape. On the other hand, he's trying not simply not to pay, but also to hide his assets. And now that's where I think he will get hammered by the judge. We're seeing what could happen in other fields if Trump continues to stay intransigent. Giuliani could show up, as his lawyer said, and say he's about broke. And the judge will say, let's see it, because the reason he got in this discovery scrape that made him pay just this discrete amount of money that he stiffed them on so far is because he didn't want to comply with the orders to, open his book. The judge won't tolerate that now. He can't both not pay and refuse to try to justify why. So he is in a world of hurt, and you have to imagine, maybe he can delay a few days, but he's first going to have to play an open hand, which he's tried desperately to avoid, and then still have to pay. And this is just the prelude to the trial itself, which he now must attend, and where his potential liability is stratospheric.
Harry, we know he asked for a meeting with Jack Smith's investigators. Can you just, where does that degree of desperation or willingness to help intersect with financial despair?
Kind of right here, because what is he going? He has one card left to play. He doesn't want to play it, but all he can do on the criminal side, and this doesn't solve his financial problems except to the extent he doesn't have to pay his lawyers, is to cooperate and give information. And he's got a fair bit to give. By the way, he's a lousy witness. He's got all kinds of credibility issues, but just giving the details and the dirty dirt, as it were, on Trump would still be meaningful. But the main thing it would do for him in his current apparently abysmal straits is keep him from having to pay what would clearly be 7 figures to defend himself at trial.
Amy, this is Judge Howell's opinion last month, blasting Rudy Giuliani last month for noncompliance. Quote, donning a cloak of victimization may play well on a public stage to certain audiences, but in a court of law, this performance has served only to subvert the normal process of discovery in a straightforward defamation case. Now, you know who knew better would be a former DOJ official, which Rudy embarrassingly is. What do you make of his sort of public posture and disregard for orders and rulings?
Well, it's interesting. I think he's probably been hanging out in the political realm a little too long because, right, this is what Donald Trump does. And, this type of thing, when you go to a court of law, doesn't always work. I think, he's facing an enormous amount, as many problems as Trump has, Rudy Giuliani has right now. And the difference, I think there's a lot of differences, but one big one is, as Harry said, he can't go back to his millions of supporters and ask for more money the same way Trump is using his political fundraising operation to kind of pay for all this stuff. And so he's in a world of hurt.